Good day, friends. I hope you're doing really well. This is Tracy Brown, and my team and I provide non-diet nutrition counseling and trauma-informed nervous system health education to be able to feel safe enough in your body to ingest and digest normatively, and honestly, just kind of get on with things. Get on with your life. Food just be food, and body just be body, right? So that's our foundation we walk on, and we share that with you as well. So I was really inspired this morning by a post by Carolyn Spring. So you can go to her website and read her blog. She is very prolific with her writing, and I really so much appreciate her devotion to helping people heal from trauma. You know, she's I can consider her an expert, but it's because of her lived experience that I love so much. So it's Caroline with a Y, spring.com. And her post today was about, and this is what inspired me, so I'll put the infographic below. But she said in the post, I cannot just fight fires. I need to build flame-proof materials. How do you build? So we're going to apply it to our circumstance here. Now, again, if you know that, like, okay, I've been to kind of traditional CBT-ish talk therapy, and it's not really getting me much. It's only gotten me so far. It's wonderful, it's helpful, but I need more of a bottom-up approach because I know I have unprocessed adversity. I know that I have some people, when I think about them, make me want to gag or like dread or check out or whatever. I know that's in my life. You know, we need to help your frontal lobe be, problem solving and more in charge and less driven by the limbic system, which is what, your amygdala and your hippocampus decide if you're safe or not, as part of your autonomic nervous system. So if you know you're having struggles with that, if you've been trying to do recovery and you've been in treatment many times or many different practitioners, and it just seems like you're kind of, it's fine to have different practitioners over time to learn from, and you're growing, versus, I don't know, I'm still kind of working through the same issues. I'm looping, which is what Janina Fisher calls it, whack-a-mole recovery, all right? So here in our practice, we are always on the lookout for what triggers are going to possibly sabotage recovery. We want people not to have whack-a-mole recovery is what we call it. So how do we do this from a food perspective? So Caroline talks about it from a mental health perspective. Here we're going to talk about it from a perspective of understanding what lights it up, gets the eating disorder or the binging really going, and get you back into this posture of I'll never get this, that collapse of I binged again, or I'm feeling really disheartened because I said I was gonna eat at this certain time and not skip that snack, and I did it anyway, or I was doing body trashing again, or whatever. And we know these things are their course. These are trauma responses to living in a culture that has bias against certain ways of looking, and our culture is very performative about if you look a certain way, you have a certain thing, or you do a certain thing, or there's always this striving and this competition to really be seen, be the best, use thinness or body or intellect or finances or whatever to be the best, sports, whatever, to be the best, fitness. People think if they're somebody based on the cultural standards, then they're seen and they're okay. And so we know that diet culture has its roots in some of that belief system. So we have to understand that the likelihood of us using these old strategies and habits that we're trying to heal from or dismantle, that fire can be lit if we're not really on top of the circumstances that feel really familiar to when they started in the first place. So how do we kind of fireproof ourselves around the food? And it's certainly knowing what gets you triggered. If busyness triggers you, if other people being validated triggers you, if fearing of losing something that even isn't good for you triggers you, of people, relationships trigger you, the way somebody looks triggers you, and you're going to be in those circumstances, get a notebook and start writing what are the things that light the fire. Because if you're not aware, get triggered again and you do things you don't really want to do and don't yet have the resources to deal with it, You're just playing whack-a-mole and always fighting fires versus making progress. All right. So that's it for today. I want you saw me be practical yesterday in my video around like, look, I knew I was going to be in a situation 4+ hours with no access to any really resources, and I had more than enough. I could have fed multiple people with the amount of food I brought for myself in that circumstance because I wanted to have choices. I wanted to have enoughness, and I didn't really care if it looked excessive to the outside world. Could care less, because my sense of internal locus to control isn't really based on what other people think. Biases, opinions, that's all it is. There are trauma strategies. Yeah, that's got nothing to do with me. It might impact me, but it's not really about me. It's about this internalized, not yet unpacked stuff that they're struggling with and gets projected. So keep that in mind too. When other people project, do the fires get lit, or you're like, oh, I know that's one of my triggers when people project on me. They make comments about my food or my body or my kids' bodies or whatever. It's like people are going to be people doing stuff until they do their work. So we're just ready. We're just ready. And then there's a sense of agency and resilience and competence and capacity that's grown when we're on top of that. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you all those who watched live. I appreciate you for taking your time out of the middle of the day here live. And for those watching the replay, share some of your more obscure triggers, because some people, there's some universality that I see. I work with people all over the world, and it doesn't matter what country, I hear a lot of the same statements. Like, I'm pursuing thinness because it'll make me more attractive, make me more confident. My clothes I'll fit into my old clothes, or my clothes will fit better. I hear those three, and I hear that from every time zone on this planet. So I know that there's mind control programming that's gotten people to believe generation after generation. That's how you get your confidence. That's how you deal with clothes changes. That's how you deal with stuff. So that's programming when everybody's doing the same thing. And there's no internal sense of like, well, that can't be true. Like, how in the world would it inherently make me more confident to be in a different body? Who says? Until we start questioning why we think what we think, we'll keep doing the same behaviors and keep getting triggered by the same stuff. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.